I signed my name with a pen that didn't shake. Not because I wasn't bleeding inside. Because I'd already done the shaking in the quietest place possible alone. At 2:14 a.m., staring at a hotel receipt that had synced to our shared tablet like a confession that didn't care who saw it. Arden, my attorney said gently. If you're ready, we file today. I looked at the papers on the desk. Petition. Financial disclosure. Temporary orders. The clean language of an ending. I'm ready, I said. The word landed without drama. Like a door closing. I was in a glass office on the 22nd floor of Caro and Lyle. The kind of firm that charged for silence and delivered it. Outside the window, the city moved like it always did, people hurrying. Traffic obeying lights. The world pretending nothing in my life had snapped. My phone buzzed. A new message. A line of grey on white. Graham. *** running late. Dinner without me. Love you. ***. I stared at it. The way you stare at a magician's hands after you finally understand the trick. Do you want me to request an emergency hearing? My attorney asked. No. I slid my phone face down. I want everything filed clean. And I want the numbers. The numbers, she echoed and nodded. Forensic accounting. Yes, there was a moment where her professional mask softened. Not into pity, but into recognition. You'll get them, she said. That was the first relief I'd felt in weeks. Not comfort, not hope, certainty. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're from. If this story moves you, please subscribe. Tomorrow I have a special story for you. I left the law firm with a folder tucked under my arm like it was nothing but paperwork. I kept my shoulders level, my steps measured. I didn't cry in the elevator. I didn't cry in the lobby. I cried in my car once I'd shut the door. Not sobbing. Not the theatrical kind. Just a tight, silent leak from somewhere deep, like my body was letting out steam so my mind could stay cold. I wiped my face with the back of my hand, then checked the mirror. Lipstick still intact. Hair still smooth. I could look normal. That skill had saved my marriage more times than I could count. It wouldn't save it now. When I pulled into our driveway, the house looked the same as it always did. Immaculate hedges, stone steps, the porch light that turned on at dusk like a small ritual of welcome. I'd picked this place. Not because it was grand, because it was quiet. Because I thought a quiet home meant a quiet life. Inside, the kitchen smelled faintly of the rosemary bread I'd baked that morning, bread Graham loved. Bread he praised like it was proof of my devotion. My laptop sat open on the counter where I'd left it. Next to it, the tablet that had betrayed him. I didn't touch either. I went upstairs, changed into a soft sweater, and walked into the primary bedroom with the calm of a woman entering a room she already owned. Graham's closet door was half open. His suit jacket hung crooked. A small thing. But my brain had become cruelly good at noticing small things. I heard the garage door downstairs, then his footsteps, then his voice, too bright when he called my name. Arden, you home? In here, I said. He appeared in the doorway, loosened tie, the same handsome face that had made strangers tell me I was lucky. He leaned against the frame and smiled like we were a normal couple at the end of a normal day. Sorry I'm late, he said. We had a client dinner run long. I watched him say it. I watched the ease of it. A lie that wore his mouth like it belonged there. Do you want to eat? I asked. He blinked, surprised by the lack of emotion. I can grab something. I'm exhausted. You look it. He stepped toward me, arms opening for a hug, a reflex he trained us into. I let him wrap me up. I let his cologne settle into my sweater. I let him kiss my hair. Because the hug wasn't for me. It was for him. It was a way to reassure himself that his world hadn't shifted. When he released me, he lifted my chin with 2 fingers the way he did when he wanted to play tender. Everything okay? He asked. My mouth wanted to say the sentence that would burn the whole house down. Asterisk, asterisk, I know where you were. Asterisk, asterisk instead, I smiled. Everything's fine, I said. His shoulders loosened like he'd been holding a breath. I'll shower, he said. Then I'll come down. He disappeared into the bathroom. The moment the door closed, I moved. Not frantic. Not angry. Efficient. I walked to his dresser and opened the top drawer. Wallet. Watch. Sunglasses. And a second phone. Black. Unlabeled. My hands didn't tremble as I picked it up. The shaking had already happened, weeks ago, when I'd first realized his devices were splitting his life into compartments. I turned the phone on. No passcode. He'd been so confident in my trust that he hadn't even bothered to lock it. A list of messages filled the screen. Names. One name repeated, like a pulse. Asterisk, asterisk, Bianca, asterisk, asterisk. I tapped the thread. The screen flooded with intimacy. Hotel room numbers, jokes I'd never heard. Photos cropped to hide faces but not desire. Then a message from that afternoon. Bianca. Asterisk, asterisk, he's signing tomorrow. You promised. Asterisk, asterisk, Graham. Asterisk, asterisk, relax. She won't see it. Arden doesn't read the fine print. My stomach went cold, not because he was with her, because he thought I was stupid, because he thought my loyalty had turned me into a shadow. I took a screenshot, then another. Then I forwarded the entire conversation to my own secure email. I didn't think about fairness. I thought about proof. In the bathroom, water started running. I set the second phone back exactly where it had been. Closed the drawer. Smoothed my sweater. I went downstairs, poured myself a glass of water, and sat at the kitchen island with my laptop. The folder from my attorney lay beside it. I didn't open the divorce petition. I opened our accounts. I had built the system that paid our bills. Graham had never asked how it worked. He'd only asked if it worked. I pulled bank statements from the last 6 months. At first, I saw what I expected. Mortgage, utilities, payroll for the housekeeper, subscriptions Graham insisted were professional. Then, a pattern. Transfers to a consulting company I didn't recognize. Small at first, then larger. The name of the receiving account. Asterisk, asterisk, Moreau Advisory, LLC. Asterisk, asterisk. Moreau. I breathed in through my nose. Slow. The city had 1,000 Moreaus. But my mind didn't believe in coincidence anymore. I opened another tab and searched corporate filings. Moreau Advisory, LLC. Registered 2 years ago. Owner. Asterisk, asterisk, Bianca Moreau, asterisk, asterisk. My fingers paused on the keyboard. So she wasn't just sleeping with my husband. She was billing him. Or he was paying her. Or both. There was another name connected to the filing. A managing partner. A man. Asterisk, asterisk, Cassian Rourke. Asterisk, asterisk. The surname hit a part of my memory I didn't use often. Business pages, philanthropic galas, the kind of wealth that lived behind polite smiles. Rourke Capital. Rourke Medical. A family that treated money like oxygen. And Bianca was married to that. I stared at the screen until the letters blurred. My husband had chosen to cheat with the wife of a man who could buy whole neighborhoods. The stupidity of it would have been almost funny, if it wasn't my life. Graham came downstairs fresh showered. Hair damp, wearing the hoodie I'd bought him in Paris. He kissed my cheek. Hey, he said. What are you working on? Bills, I said. He smiled. I don't know what I'd do without you. You'd do exactly what you're doing now, I thought. You'd take and take until the structure collapsed. Out loud, I said, probably spend more time learning where your money goes. He laughed like it was a joke. I watched him grab a bowl, pour cereal, and scroll his phone. He looked like a man who believed consequences were for other people. And I realized something quiet and sharp. Graham hadn't been careful. He'd been careless. Because care requires respect. And he didn't respect me. That was the deepest betrayal. Not the affair. The assumption. The next morning, I woke before him. I didn't slam cupboards. I didn't stare at him while he slept. I made coffee. I fed the cat. I answered emails. Then, at 7:12 a.m., I walked into the guest bedroom with my laptop and called my attorney. When she answered, I didn't say hello like a woman in distress. I said, add fraud to our list. There was a pause. Tell me what you found. I laid it out in clean sentences. The second phone. The messages. The transfers. And the name on the company. I finished. Bianca Moreau. My attorney exhaled slow. That's significant. Cassian Rourke is attached, I said. The line went quiet for half a beat. Arden, she said, voice sharpening. Do not contact him. Not yet. Let us do this properly. I'm not contacting anyone, I said. I'm observing. That's good. And I want a full forensic audit, I added. Every transfer, every signature, every contract he's touched. We'll request it. I also want a private investigator, I said. Already on it. That was when the control returned. Not control over Graham. Control over myself. I ended the call, closed the laptop, and went back into my bedroom. Graham was awake now, scrolling his phone. He looked up and smiled. Morning, he said. I smiled back. Morning. He had no idea he was already losing. By noon, I had my own file. Not a dramatic wall of photos. A spreadsheet. Dates, amounts, locations, receipts. The evidence of betrayal can be painfully mundane. It's not just lipstick on a collar. It's an Uber receipt at midnight. It's a credit card charge at a hotel bar. It's a contract routed through an LLC that shares a mistress's last name. It's your husband assuming you want to notice because you've always made his life easier. At 2:40 p.m., my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. No name. Just a message. Unknown. Asterisk, asterisk, I think we should talk. I'm Bianca's husband. Asterisk, asterisk. My throat tightened. Not fear. Not excitement. A strange, cool inevitability. He'd found out. Or he'd known. Or he was watching. I stared at the message for a full minute. My attorney's warning echoed. Do not contact him. Not yet. But the message was already contact. And if Cassian Rourke had reached out to me, it meant he had a reason. I typed a response. Me. Asterisk, asterisk, where? Asterisk, asterisk, 3 dots appeared. Unknown. Asterisk, asterisk, the Meridian Hotel. Lobby lounge. 5:30. Private booth. Come alone. A second message followed. Unknown. Asterisk, asterisk, I'm not your enemy. I'm the other person they underestimated. My hands stayed steady. I saved the number. Asterisk, asterisk, C. Rourke, asterisk, asterisk. Then I called my attorney. I received a message, I said. From him. Silence. Read it to me. I did. You're not going alone, she said immediately. I will, I said. Arden, I won't be reckless, I cut in, calm. I'll meet in a public place. I'll have my phone recording. I'll share my location. But I need to know what he knows. A measured breath on the other end. Fine, she said. But say as little as possible. Listen more than you speak. That, at least, was something I was good at. At 5:26 p.m., I walked into the Meridian Hotel wearing a coat that looked expensive because I paid for it. The lobby smelled like citrus and polished stone. Men in suits moved with purpose. Women in heels moved with practiced grace. Wealth here wasn't loud. It was controlled. A hostess led me to the lounge. The booth was tucked behind a screen of green plants. He was already there. Cassian Rourke looked like the kind of man the world made space for. Not because he demanded it, because everyone around him instinctively adjusted. He stood when I approached. Tall, dark suit. Calm eyes that didn't scan my body the way most men did. He looked at my face, not because he was respectful, because he was assessing. Arden Vale, he said. He knew my name. I sat across from him. Cassian Rourke, I replied. He didn't smile. Thank you for coming, he said. I didn't come for courtesy, I said. A flicker at the corner of his mouth. Good, he said. Neither did I. He slid a folder across the table. Thick. Professional. The kind of folder that contained decisions. I'm going to say something, he continued, voice low. And you're going to want to react. I'm asking you not to. Not yet. I rested my hands on the table. Speak. Bianca is having an affair, he said, and there was no emotion in the words. Just fact. With your husband. The confirmation should have hurt. It didn't. It clarified. I know, I said. His gaze sharpened. How long? Long enough, I said. He nodded once, like that was all he needed. Then we don't waste time, he said. He opened the folder. Inside were printouts, surveillance photos, financial statements, wire transfers. My husband entering a hotel with Bianca. My husband leaving with her. Dates. Times. Not rumors. Evidence. Cassian turned a page. Bianca has been moving money, he said. Not just ours. Yours. I blinked once. Explain. She created a consultancy, he said. Moreau Advisory. She used it to invoice your husband's company. Our company, I corrected. Cassian's eyes flicked up. You own part of it. I built it, I said. He talks. I execute. A pause. Then, for the first time, Cassian's face shifted into something like respect. Then you understand exactly how they did it, he said. He slid a page toward me. A contract. A signature. My signature. My name written in ink I didn't recognize. I stared at it. My skin went cold. That's not mine, I said. I know, Cassian replied. He didn't sound triumphant. He sounded tired. They forged your authorization, he said. They used it to approve a transfer from an account tied to your holding company. I caught it because the routing came through one of our internal audits. You audited me? I asked. I audited my wife, he said flatly. You were collateral damage. My jaw tightened. This is the part where you get angry, he said, watching me carefully. I am angry, I said. I'm just not wasting it. Something settled in his eyes. Good, he said. He reached into the folder again. This time, he pulled out a second document, an escrow confirmation, a transfer notice, and a bank letter. Across the top, a number printed in clean font. Asterisk asterisk $100 million asterisk asterisk. I stared. Cassian slid it across the table like he was placing down a glass of water. What is this? I asked. An offer, he said. And a correction. He folded his hands. Your husband has been using your assets as leverage, he continued. He and Bianca planned to shift a portion of your holdings through her firm and into a trust Bianca controls. That trust would have been protected under our marital framework. In other words, they wanted to move your money into my marriage so I couldn't touch it without a public war. My stomach tightened with the cold brilliance of their plan. Cassian's gaze didn't waver. I shut it down, he said. You can shut down a transfer, I said carefully. You can't just produce $100 million. I can, he said, and there was no arrogance, just truth. But that's not the point. He tapped the escrow letter. This is a settlement amount, he said, paid into a protected account in your name. Consider it restitution. For what? For them thinking they could steal from you, he said. I stared at him. My mind wanted to find the trap, because no one offers a woman $100 million without expecting something back. Cassian seemed to read the thought. You don't trust me, he said. I barely trust the chair I'm sitting on, I replied. A faint exhale, almost a laugh. Fair, he said. So let me be clear. He leaned forward. I'm divorcing Bianca, he said. I'm doing it quietly, legally, and with precision. But there's a problem. What problem? Bianca is not just cheating, he said. She is laundering money through charitable fronts and vendor contracts. My name sits on boards. My family is visible. If this explodes, it will take people down who don't deserve it. My chest tightened. And you think I'm going to help you keep it quiet, I said. I think you want the same thing I do, he said. A clean exit. The truth on paper. The power to walk away without begging. I didn't answer. Cassian slid one more paper toward me. A term sheet. My eyes scanned it. Acquisition. Buyout. A valuation that made my breath catch. Rourke Capital intended to purchase my patent holdings, my private IP portfolio, through my holding company. A portfolio I hadn't touched in years because Graham had told me it was too complicated, and he would handle it. The number on the page was the same. 100 million. This is not charity, Cassian said. This is business. You built something. Your husband hid it. I'm buying it at market value. In your name. Not his. My throat tightened. Not because I felt saved. Because I felt seen. By a stranger. Not by my husband. I forced my face into neutrality. And what do you get? I asked. Cassian's eyes held mine. I get my wife out of my life, he said. And I get the truth documented, so no one can paint this as a jealous man attacking a woman. He tapped the folder. I need a witness, he continued. A second betrayed spouse. Someone who can confirm the pattern, the timing, the coordination. And in return, you leave your marriage with power. I sat back. There it was. Not romance, not rescue. An alliance. The kind built from shared damage and mutual strategy. You came to me because you need me, I said. Yes, he replied, without flinching. I held his gaze. And you offered me money because you know my husband tried to erase me, I said. Cassian's eyes darkened. I offered you money because it's yours. Silence stretched. The lounge hum continued around us, muffled by the plants and the wealth. I thought about the contract I'd seen, my forged signature. I thought about Graham's message. Asterisk, asterisk, Arden doesn't read the fine print. Asterisk, asterisk. I felt something in me harden into shape. Send this to my attorney, I said. Cassian nodded. Already done. Of course he had. And if I sign, I said, what happens next? Cassian's voice stayed calm. Next, he said. We end them. Not with screaming. Not with scandal. With paper. With proof. With consequences. I looked down at the escrow letter again. $100 million. It wasn't just money. It was weight. It was the kind of weight that changes how people speak to you, how courts listen, how lawyers negotiate, how your husband panics. I lifted my eyes. Then we do it properly, I said. Cassian's gaze softened barely. That's why I chose you, he replied. I didn't correct him. Because he hadn't chosen me. They had. My husband and Bianca had chosen me as the woman who wouldn't fight back. Cassian simply saw the mistake in their assumption. I drove home with the folder on the passenger seat. The city lights blurred against my windshield. I felt oddly calm, as if I'd been drowning for months, and someone had finally handed me a map. No promises, no comfort, just directions. When I walked into the house, Graham was in the living room, relaxed, feet up, smiling at his laptop. Hey, he said. How was your day? My throat tightened with the absurdity of his normal tone. It was productive, I said. Good, he said. I'm thinking we should take a trip. Just us. Reset. Reset. The word made me almost laugh. He wanted to reset a system he'd corrupted. I sat across from him. What kind of trip? I asked. Somewhere private, he said. No distractions. No witnesses, I translated. I smiled. That sounds nice, I said. His eyes brightened. Yeah? I said. I'll look at dates. He relaxed. He believed me. Of course he did. He'd been living on my restraint for years. That night, while he slept, I opened my laptop and created a new folder. Not in the cloud. Not in any shared drive. On an encrypted external device my attorney had given me months ago, just in case. Just in case. A phrase women learn to live by. I saved every screenshot, every bank statement, every forged document. Then I drafted a simple email. To Cassian. Subject. Asterisk asterisk terms. Asterisk asterisk. Body. Asterisk asterisk my attorney will review. I will not be your shield. I will be your mirror. Then I added a second line. Asterisk asterisk, if we do this, we do it clean. Asterisk asterisk I hit send. The next day unfolded like a controlled burn. My attorney called with updates. Temporary orders filed, she said. He will be served within 48 hours. The forensic accountant is pulling records. And Arden Cassian's counsel is thorough. I expected that, I said. You should know, she continued. The escrow funds are real. The term sheet is legitimate. His firm has already placed the money under your name, conditional upon the transfer of the IP assets and your sworn statement in their case. My chest tightened. Real. Not a fantasy. Not a trap. Real power sitting behind my name. And? I asked. And your husband has no idea, she said. I looked across the kitchen. Graham stood by the coffee machine, humming as he scrolled his phone. He looked like a man at peace. Good, I said. My attorney hesitated. Arden, I have to ask. Are you safe? I glanced at Graham again. He wasn't violent. He was worse. He was convincing. I'm safe, I said. And I'm careful. Okay, she said. Then let's talk strategy. We talked for an hour. Not about feelings. About timing. About service. About freezing joint accounts. About making sure he couldn't drain what I'd built before the court could see it. When the call ended, I sat quietly at the island, hands folded. This was the part people don't understand about betrayal. It doesn't always make you loud. Sometimes it makes you precise. That evening, Bianca called my husband. I didn't know that because I was spying. I knew because Graham walked into the kitchen with his phone pressed to his ear. Voice softened into a tone he never used with me anymore. I miss you too, he murmured. Then he saw me. His eyes widened a fraction. His voice shifted instantly. I'll call you back, he said into the phone, too quickly. He ended the call. He smiled too wide. Work, he said. I nodded. Of course, I said. And then I did something that surprised even me. I reached for my glass of water, took a slow sip, and looked at him like he was a man I'd just met. Graham, I said softly. Are you happy? His smile faltered. What kind of question is that? He asked. A real one, I said. He laughed, uneasy. Why wouldn't I be? I let the silence do the cutting. He shifted, defensive. Arden, come on, he said. We're good. We're fine. Fine. The word had always been his favorite lie. I nodded. We're fine, I agreed. Then I stood, rinsed my glass, and walked out of the room. I left him alone with the feeling that something had moved under his feet. Not enough to make him confess. Just enough to make him nervous. Nervous men make mistakes. 2 days later, Graham was served. It happened at his office. I wasn't there. I didn't want the satisfaction of watching his face. I wanted the satisfaction of knowing he would have to control his expression in front of people who respected him. He came home early. He didn't slam the door. He didn't shout. He stood in the entryway holding the papers like they were contagious. Divorce? He said, voice thin with disbelief. I was on the couch with a book, not because I could read, because I wanted to show him how steady I could be. Yes, I said. Arden, he breathed, like my name was a betrayal. What is this? It's the truth, I said. He took a step forward. Is this because I've been busy? He snapped. Because I've been working. Because I'm trying to build something for us. I closed the book slowly. No, I said. It's because you've been building something for yourself. His jaw tightened. He tried to laugh. You're being dramatic, he said. I looked at him. I haven't been dramatic once, I said. He blinked. That was the part that scared him. Not my anger. My calm. He set the papers on the console table like he couldn't bear to hold them. Who put you up to this? He demanded. I smiled, small. No one put me up to anything, I said. You put me down long enough that I finally stood up. He scoffed. Are you seriously doing this? Yes, I said. His face shifted. The charm disappeared. The man underneath surfaced. You'll regret this, he said quietly. I tilted my head. Is that a threat? I asked. His mouth tightened. No, he said. It's reality. You don't understand what you're doing. I stood. I walked toward him. Not aggressive. Not fearful. Direct. I understand exactly what I'm doing, I said. And you understand exactly what you've done. He opened his mouth. Then his phone buzzed. He glanced at it. His expression flickered. A name on the screen. Bianca. He didn't answer. Because I was watching. Because he didn't want to confirm the truth out loud. But the confirmation had already happened. In his face. In his hesitation. In the way his eyes avoided mine. I took a breath. Pack a bag, I said. You can stay at your office apartment. My office apartment? He repeated, startled. I smiled. You didn't think I knew about that either? I asked. His face went pale. For the first time, he looked at me like I might be dangerous. Good. He grabbed the papers again. This is insane, he muttered. Then he walked upstairs. And I stayed where I was. Because the point wasn't to chase. The point was to hold the line. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're from. If this story moves you, please subscribe. Tomorrow I have a special story for you. That night, after he left with his bag, the house felt lighter. Not happier. Just quieter. The kind of quiet you notice when you've been living with constant low-level tension for years. I walked through each room like I was seeing it for the first time. The dining table where I'd hosted his colleagues. The living room where I'd laughed at jokes that weren't funny. The hallway where I'd swallowed words to keep peace. I wasn't sentimental. I was inventorying. What in this house belonged to him? And what in this life belonged to me? At 11:03 p.m., my phone buzzed. Cassian. Asterisk, your husband was served. Bianca was served. Tomorrow we move. Are you ready? I stared at the message. The truth is, I'd been ready long before today. I had just never allowed myself to admit it. Me. Asterisk, I'm ready. Asterisk, Cassian. Asterisk, good. 8 a.m. boardroom. Rourke Medical. We end the contracts. Boardroom. I felt the words settle in my chest. Not a bedroom confrontation. Not a screaming match. A boardroom. A place where my husband's charm didn't matter. Only paper. I typed back. Me. Asterisk, I'll be there. Asterisk, the morning came fast. I dressed in a black suit that looked severe because it was meant to. I wore my hair back. No softness. No invitation for anyone to talk to me like I was emotional. When I arrived at Rourke Medical's headquarters, the building rose like a clean glass promise. The lobby was quiet. Security knew my name before I said it. A woman in a tailored dress approached with a tablet. "Ms. Vale," she said. "This way." Her voice was polite, but there was an edge of respect. Because Cassian had prepared. Because he'd already positioned me as someone important. The boardroom was cold with air conditioning and control. A long table, leather chairs. A wall of windows overlooking the city. Cassian stood near the head of the table. 2 attorneys sat on one side. Another man in a suit I recognized from business magazines sat on the other. And at the far end, arms crossed, face tight, stood Bianca. She wore cream, expensive and innocent. Her eyes found mine like a blade. For a second, my chest tightened. Not jealousy, not hatred, a grim curiosity. This woman had looked at my life and wanted it. Or maybe she wanted my husband's attention, the way some people want a shiny object. Either way, she had underestimated the cost. Graham wasn't there. Yet, Cassian stepped toward me. "You came," he said. "I said I would," I replied. His gaze flicked to Bianca. "Then we begin," he said. Bianca laughed, sharp. "This is ridiculous." Cassian didn't look at her. He looked at his attorney. "Proceed," he said. The attorney opened a binder. Pages turned. Numbers slid across the table. Contracts. Invoices. Vendor agreements. Bianca's expression shifted as she recognized them. At 8:17 a.m., the door opened. Graham walked in. He stopped the moment he saw me. His face froze. He recovered quickly, because recovery was his gift. "Arden?" he said, forcing a smile. "What is this?" Bianca's eyes narrowed. Cassian's voice was calm. "This," he said, "is the part where the two of you stop lying." Graham's gaze snapped to Cassian. "Cassian," he said, fake friendly. "I didn't know you were involved." Cassian didn't answer. He gestured toward the chair beside me. "Sit," he said. Graham looked at me. He searched my face for the familiar softness. He found none. Slowly, he sat. Bianca remained standing, like she could outrank consequences. Cassian's attorney spoke. "Mr. Casedale," he said to Graham, "you are here because you have been party to fraudulent transfers, contract manipulation, and the forging of Miss Vale's authorization. Graham's face went blank. That's insane, he said. Cassian's attorney slid the forged signature across the table. Is it? Graham stared. His eyes flicked to me. A quick calculation. He tried to smile. Arden, come on, he said softly. You know I would never. I cut him off with one sentence. You told her I don't read the fine print, I said. Silence. Graham's mouth opened. Closed. Bianca's face tightened. Cassian's gaze stayed on Graham. You used her trust, Cassian said. You tried to move it into my marriage. Graham's eyes flashed with anger. This is a misunderstanding, he said. Bianca finally spoke. Cassian, this is between you and me, she said. Don't drag the woman you stole from into it, Cassian asked. His tone wasn't cruel. It was final. Bianca's cheeks flushed. You're being dramatic, she snapped. Cassian looked at her like she was a file he'd already closed. You are being documented, he corrected. He nodded to his attorney. A new document slid across the table. A sworn statement. My name at the top. Bianca's eyes snapped to it. What is that? She demanded. A timeline, Cassian said. A confession of your pattern, I spoke. Not a confession, I said. A record. Graham turned to me, face tight. Arden, stop, he hissed. I held his gaze. No, I said quietly. The attorney continued. Miss Vale, he said to me. Are you prepared to confirm the transfers were unauthorized? Yes, I said. And that you discovered evidence of Mr. Castiel's affair with Mrs. Rourke and their coordination in these transactions? Yes, I said. Graham's face reddened. This is insane, he said again, louder. Cassian's attorney didn't react. He just turned another page. Mr. Castiel, he said. Your company has also been notified. Your access to corporate accounts has been suspended pending audit. Graham jerked back. What? I spoke before Cassian could. I own the majority stake, I said. Graham stared at me. His mouth moved like he couldn't find language. I filed the documentation last night, I said, calm. I reasserted my controlling interest through my holding company. The one you thought I forgot about. Bianca's eyes widened. Cassian watched me, still. I felt my pulse steady. This was not revenge. This was correction. Graham's voice came out hoarse. You can't do that, he said. I already did, I replied. His gaze flicked to Cassian. This is your doing, he spat. Cassian's eyes cooled. No, he said. This is hers. I watched Graham realize in real time that the woman he'd called unobservant had built the entire structure he lived in. The room was quiet, except for the soft sound of papers turning. Then Cassian's attorney slid one last item toward me. Divorce settlement framework. Not from Graham. From me. Terms. Clean. Sharp. I picked up the pen. Graham leaned forward. Arden, he said, voice pleading now. We can talk about this. We can fix. There's nothing to fix, I said. My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. I'm not broken, I added. Your ethics are. I signed. Ink on paper. A quiet ending. Bianca stared. Graham stared. Cassian didn't move. He simply nodded once, like a man confirming a plan executed. Now, Cassian said, we discuss restitution. He slid the term sheet for the IP acquisition across the table. Bianca's eyes flashed. What is that? She demanded. Cassian didn't answer her. He spoke to me. Do you accept the purchase? He asked. I looked down at the page. 100 million. A figure that would have felt unreal yesterday. Now it felt like a door. I looked at Graham. His face was pale. He knew. He finally understood. Not only had he lost me, he had lost access. He had lost the leverage he thought he had. He had lost the story. I accept, I said. Cassian's attorney nodded. A banker on the call confirmed details. The escrow would release within hours. Bianca's lips parted. You can't, she whispered to Cassian. Cassian's eyes didn't soften. I already did, he said. The same words I'd used. I felt, for a brief second, the strange solidarity of two people who refused to be humiliated quietly. Graham stood abruptly. This is a setup, he barked. No one flinched. His anger had no power here. The attorney spoke again, voice smooth. Mr. Castiel, he said, if you raise your voice further, we will note intimidation in the record. Sit down. Graham's face twisted. He sat. I watched his hands clench. I watched his pride fight reality. Reality won by an inch. Cassian closed the binder. This meeting is concluded, he said. Bianca hissed. Cassian, leave, Cassian said. Two security officers appeared like they'd been waiting behind the door the entire time. Bianca stared at them, then at me. Her eyes sharpened into hatred. I met her gaze. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I simply looked at her like a woman who had chosen her actions, and now could live with the cost. Bianca turned and walked out, head high, even as the room closed behind her. Graham stayed seated. His eyes found mine. For the first time in years, he looked small. Arden, he said quietly. Please. The word hit the air like it had weight. I stood. I gathered my bag. I looked down at him. I'm not leaving because you cheated, I said. His brow furrowed. I'm leaving because you thought I wouldn't notice, I added. His mouth trembled. I didn't touch him. I didn't comfort him. I didn't punish him. I simply walked out. By noon, my phone buzzed with an alert. Escrow release confirmed. $100 million transferred into an account in my name. I stared at the notification. Not because I wanted to memorize the number, because I wanted to remember how it felt to be impossible to ignore. My attorney called an hour later. Arden, she said, voice bright with professional satisfaction. He's panicking. I'm not surprised, I said. He wants to negotiate, she continued. He's offering concessions. Let him, I said. She paused. Do you feel anything? She asked, quieter now. I looked out my window at the city. I thought about the marriage I'd spent years trying to maintain. The dinners, the smoothing, the silence. I feel clear, I said. That's the best thing you can feel, she replied. Graham came to the house that evening. He wasn't supposed to. But men like him always believed the rules bent for their desperation. I didn't let him in. I spoke through the door. Arden, he said, voice cracking. Please, we need to talk. We've talked, I replied. Not like this, he insisted. Not with lawyers and strangers and Cassian. What did you do? Who are you? I rested my forehead lightly against the wood. For a moment, I let myself feel it. Not love. Not longing. Grief. Grief for the younger version of me who thought devotion could earn respect. Then I stepped back. I didn't do anything to you, Graham, I said. You did it to yourself. He swallowed. Arden, I made mistakes, he said. I can fix it. I can change. I closed my eyes. Change for who? I asked. For you, he said quickly. I held the silence long enough for him to hear his own panic. No, I said softly. You would have changed when I was still trying. A sound on the other side of the door. A small, broken exhale. Do you love me? He asked. The question was almost cruel. Not because it was tender. Because it was too late. I answered with the truth that didn't offer him comfort. I loved the man I thought you were, I said. Silence. Then quieter. And now? Now, I said. I love myself enough to stop begging. He whispered my name. I turned the lock, not to let him in, to make sure it stayed closed. The divorce moved fast after that. Not because courts are kind. Because evidence is efficient. Because fraud is loud on paper. Because Graham's legal team realized they couldn't intimidate me when I had my own resources. And when the receipts were stacked like bricks. Cassian's divorce moved even faster. Bianca tried to spin a story. She tried to paint him as controlling. She tried to paint me as vindictive. But stories die when documents live. Within weeks, Graham's name was removed from contracts. He resigned from boards for personal reasons. His friends stopped calling. Not because they cared about morality. Because they cared about proximity to power. And power had shifted. On the morning my divorce became final, I went to the courthouse alone. No entourage. No triumphant group of friends. I wore a simple coat. I carried a small notebook. The judge looked at me over glasses. Miss Vale, she said, do you confirm this is your decision? Yes, I replied. Do you understand the terms? Yes. Do you enter this freely? Yes. The gavel tapped. A small sound. A lifetime ending with a quiet click. Outside the courthouse, the air felt different. Not sweeter, not magical. Just honest. My phone buzzed. A message. Cassian. Asterisk, asterisk, it's done. Asterisk, asterisk, I stared at it for a second. Then I typed back. Me. Asterisk, asterisk, good. Asterisk, asterisk, I hesitated. Then added one more line. Me. Asterisk, asterisk, thank you for seeing what they tried to hide. Asterisk, asterisk, 3 dots appeared. Cassian. Asterisk, asterisk, you were never hidden. They just refused to look. Asterisk, asterisk, I put my phone away. I didn't need validation. But I allowed myself to accept the truth. That afternoon, I walked into a small office space downtown. White walls. Big windows. A view of the city that didn't belong to anyone else. A sign on the desk with my new company name. Asterisk, asterisk, Vale Strategy Group, asterisk, asterisk. The receptionist hired by me, paid by me, stood and smiled. Good afternoon, Miss Vale, she said. The words hit my spine like a straightening hand. I walked into my own office. I set my bag down. I opened the drawer. Inside was the only thing I'd brought from the marriage. A single photo. Not of Graham. Of me. At 26. Standing in front of a whiteboard covered in formulas. Eyes bright. Hands ink-stained. A woman before she learned to shrink. I held the photo for a moment. Then I placed it on my desk. I looked out the window. I thought about the night I'd first seen the hotel receipt. The nausea. The disbelief. The humiliation. And I realized something that felt almost unfair in its simplicity. The affair hadn't ruined me. It had revealed the parts of me I'd been neglecting. My intelligence. My discipline. My ability to endure without collapsing. And then, when the moment came to walk away without asking permission, my phone buzzed again. A final message from Graham. Graham. Asterisk, asterisk, I'm sorry. I didn't know you could do this. Asterisk, asterisk, I stared at it. I could have replied. I could have explained. I could have given him closure. But closure is not something you owe the person who kept you in the dark. So I did the kindest thing I could do for myself. I deleted the message. Then I opened my calendar. I had meetings. Real ones. With investors. With partners. With people who didn't need me to be small, so they could feel big. I took a breath. I felt the calm settle in, not the numbness of survival, but the steadiness of ownership. This wasn't revenge. Revenge still ties you to the person who hurt you. This was release. I picked up my pen. I started writing the first plan for my new company. And for the first time in years, I wasn't building someone else's life. I was building mine. 2 more great stories are next. Don't miss them. Subscribe and turn on notifications.